One of my favorite expressions ever coming out of Jack Daniel's Distillery is back for the first time since 2019. The Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Heritage Barrel. Believe it or not, this is a foolproof bourbon. Let's get into it. How is everyone doing today? My name's Chris. Welcome back to Bourbinsane. Reached out to my local liquor store. Thank goodness they were able to get their hands on this Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Heritage Barrel. The last one I had was one of their previous releases back in 2018. As mentioned before, they did come out with the 2019 as well, but I had that 2018, and it was one of my favorite bourbons coming out of Jack Daniel's I think I've ever had. Honestly, I loved it that much. Unfortunately, I was only able to get one bottle because it was a super special limited release. Hopefully that isn't going to be the case this time, though. With this newest expression, we're being told this might be something that's actually going to kind of come out slowly. In the beginning, it may be limited distribution, kind of as it is now. Think of like your Old Forester 1910, how in the beginning it really took a long time for them to get distribution going. But then after a while now, we can pretty much find it everywhere we go. So that's really the goal, at least for Jack Daniel's with this bottle as well. For those of you that don't know, this Jack Daniel's Heritage Barrel, they put a little bit extra love into it. So what they do is they actually put this whiskey into the barrel at 100 proof. It is bottled at 100 proof also. So they throw it into the barrel, 100 proof, and then they actually age it at the very top level of the rick house, the Coy Hill. Some of those Coy Hill Jack Daniel's barrel proof picks, which are some of my favorites, those are delicious. And they actually had a special Coy Hill release as well, not too long ago. So the aging process does put it at the very top level, which of course is supposed to have the most heat distribution, if you will, and make it age quicker. These bottles are at least 7 years old, which is stated right on the back label, but I can tell you my bottle here actually says bottled on 7/18 of 25, and it was put in the barrel on 7/17 of 17. So I've got actually an 8-year, 1-day-old bottle here. Kind of gives you an idea on that. The other cool thing about the Heritage Barrel is they use heavily charred barrels. So think again of like your 1910, where it's supposed to give you a lot more of those kind of chocolatey, marshmallowy notes. And in the past, that's what I got out of the 2018 release at least, and I loved it. So let's go right into this one. This is going to be a fresh cork pull, so gotta love that. Gotta love it, baby. Beautiful color always on this. That dark brown Foreman. Got a nice generous pour there. Let me give this about 10-15 minutes to open up, because as with neck pours, I've been burned before, so I'm going to give it a couple minutes. We'll be right back.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Alright, about 15-20 minutes there. Gave it some time. It's just gorgeous, man. Just gorgeous in the glass here. I love that dark color. That heavy char is really coming through beautifully. You'd love to see it. So let's go into the nose. Wow. On the nose, and it could be probably because we're in the neck here, even after 15 minutes, it's still giving you a lot of heavy, I guess, alcohol coming through, as if it's like a Jack Daniel's barrel proof pick. That's immediately what I get on the nose. Makes me immediately think it's a Jack Daniel's barrel proof pick. There is an extra layer of definitely creamy oak coming through on this, though. A lot of sweetness. Rich, whipped vanilla. Whipped caramel. Super nice nose. I mean, super rich. Super rich. A lot of depth in there. Very inviting, As mentioned, the big marshmallow note I got on the 2018 release. Coming through on the nose, I'm not getting a bunch of that marshmallow. It is very desserty, very creamy, sweet oak forward. And that very whipped vanilla, almost like a vanilla frosting on a cupcake. Very nice nose. Very nice. Let's give it a taste here. Yeah, that's a Heritage Barrel. That immediately just took me back to 2018 when I got that bottle. And man, I nurtured that for a couple of years, that bottle. But it immediately took me back there. That mouthfeel, that finish, and that toasted marshmallow, reminiscent of the 1910. I wish I had a 1910 here where I could compare it to this just to see how close it is. On the Old Forester 1910, I typically get more of a chocolate note, almost like a toasted chocolate. And I'm not getting as much of the chocolatiness coming through. That signature banana brown Foreman note, it's there, but it's definitely more like a Bananas Foster. Not a banana runts like you'll get in some of the other products of theirs. It's definitely a banana dessert, like a banana split, for sure. I feel like the 2018 had more of that burnt marshmallow, where it's like you put a marshmallow over the fire and it just chars completely black and on fire. You got to blow it out. I don't get as much of that on this. It's still definitely a toasted marshmallow note, but I think it leans more towards the creamy oak side of things than it does the super toasted marshmallow. Not a lot of fruitiness either, short of that banana, which is there, but it's very desserty overall. Very desserty. Let's give it one more sip here. Even for a neck pour, this thing is like super easy to drink. And the one thing I'll say about this that I really love is I think that entry proof into the barrel makes a big difference. With something at 100 proof, just your normal shelfy things you'll pick up at 100 proof, the mid palate, like you get some flavor there, but then the mouthfeel and finish is almost, gone. There's no mouthfeel or hardly any at all, at least depending on the bourbon you're getting at around 100 proof. This just keeps going and going and going for me. Like, I'm still salivating a lot. And it probably has to do with that char too. With high barrel tannins, I tend to get a lot of that salivation going on where I want to have another sip. And that's happening all over the palate right now. I said one more sip, but I want to do one more. So I'm going to. This is honestly bringing me back to some of the Woodford Double Oaks I've had, store picks, that are extremely good. Like, I've had 2 or 3 probably Woodford Double Oaked store picks that were just incredible. And I'm getting remnants of that. Price-wise, this is, of course, going to be a little bit higher. So about $99 is what I got this for. I think our state minimum here, or retail they're saying, is about $89. So I didn't pay much over retail for it at all. And actually in Michigan, this might be state minimum. But for me, at this price, for how much I enjoy this bourbon, I think this is a pickup all the time. And especially if this does become a regular release and it's not going to be super limited, I do want you guys to go out and pick one up and give it a try and see. A lot of you in my comments have been telling me you're a massive Jack Daniel's fan, whether it be the rye, the barrel proof, bourbon, even the single barrels or heritage barrel. So I want to know I want to hear from you guys. Do you think the heritage barrel is worth that price point, or would you rather get a Jack Daniel's barrel proof pick at about $70 now? It's a good question. It's a good question because if you like those toasted oak, kind of those double oak profiles that come through, heritage barrel I think is going to be a much better option for you. But if you just like that proof that's going to kick you in the face, Jack Daniel's barrel proof always delivers on that. All right, well, super pumped, super excited to get to try this bottle today. Glad I was able to get it, and I definitely don't regret paying the money for it. To me, it's worth it. Is it as good as the 2018? I don't think so. It's been multiple years since I had it, but I do think it's still worth the pickup and still a great release from Jack Daniel's and Brown-Forman. So let me know down in the comments, are you going to be seeking this bottle out? Is it something you've had before, or even the previous release, the 2018, 2019? Have you had those? What do you think? And would you like to get it? Or like as mentioned, would you rather get the barrel proof rye picks or the barrel proof bourbon picks? I want to hear that too. If you haven't already, please do check out my Patreon page. A lot of cool exclusive behind the scenes stuff and perks and benefits you can get just for even being a free member. So if you haven't checked that out yet, please do. I appreciate y'all being here today. Thank you so much for watching the review. Stay insane.